It started as a routine encounter, but no one expected how the day would unfold. A white police officer, brimming with arrogance and authority, stopped a black woman on the street. He dismissed her with harsh words, making assumptions based on her appearance. The tension in the air was palpable as she kept her composure, responding with dignity despite the disrespect she faced. What the officer didn't know was that this woman wasn't just anyone. She was driven, highly qualified, and on a path that would soon shock everyone, including him. This is the story of resilience, justice, and unexpected twists. It's about how one woman's quiet strength would turn the tables in a way no one saw coming. By the time this story ends, the officer's life and career would be forever changed. But how did she rise to power? And what happens when their paths cross again? She walked away that day, her heart heavy, but her determination stronger than ever. This wasn't the first time she'd faced prejudice, and it wouldn't be the last. Growing up in a neighborhood often overlooked by society, she had learned to rise above the challenges thrown her way. Her family had always taught her to stay focused, to work hard, and to never let anyone define her worth. Meanwhile, the officer returned to his routine, completely unaware of who he had encountered. He carried on with the same attitude, never questioning the impact of his words or actions. But what he didn't know was that this woman had spent years building a career that defied expectations. She had dedicated her life to justice, not just for herself, but for others like her who often felt unseen. The real story was only beginning, and soon their worlds would collide in ways neither could have imagined. As weeks went by, the woman, named Maya, continued her work quietly but powerfully. She was a rising star in the police force, though her journey there had been anything but easy. Maya had faced countless roadblocks, from subtle discrimination to outright hostility, yet she persisted. She believed in creating change from within, even if it meant standing alone at times. On the other side, Officer Daniels remained oblivious. His reputation was mixed. Some admired his strict adherence to the rules, while others saw him as rigid and out of touch. He believed in control and authority, often missing the bigger picture of what justice truly meant. Unknown to him, Maya's leadership qualities were catching the attention of key figures in the department. Conversations were happening in quiet corners, decisions were being weighed, and Maya's name was at the center of it all. But would Daniels realize his past actions before it was too late? The announcement came on an ordinary morning, catching most of the department off guard. Maya had been chosen as the new chief of police. The news spread quickly, creating a ripple of reactions. Some celebrated the decision, while others questioned it. Maya, however, stayed grounded, knowing her journey was far from over. She didn't seek revenge or validation. She only wanted to bring fairness and accountability to a system that desperately needed it. Officer Daniels was among those who heard the news with disbelief. He didn't recognize Maya's name at first, but the memory of their brief encounter eventually resurfaced. A sense of unease crept in, though he couldn't fully understand why. Their paths were set to cross sooner than either expected. A high-stakes incident brought the two face-to-face in a situation where leadership and judgment would be tested. The tension was palpable, and everyone was watching. What would happen next? The incident that brought them together again was one the city would not forget. A tense standoff in a neighborhood riddled with years of mistrust toward law enforcement. A peaceful protest had taken an unexpected turn, escalating into chaos after a misunderstanding. Maya arrived on the scene as chief, stepping into the chaos with calm authority. Every eye was on her, from the community to the officers who now worked under her command. Officer Daniels was already there, struggling to manage the situation. He hadn't expected Maya to show up personally, but when their eyes met, he recognized her instantly. The memory of their earlier encounter hit him like a tidal wave, but he couldn't dwell on it now. The stakes were too high. As the crowd grew more restless, Maya made a surprising move, one that caught Daniels and everyone else off guard. But it wasn't just about controlling the moment. Her decision hinted at a deeper plan that no one could see coming. Maya stepped forward, raising her hands to address both the officers and the community. Her voice carried over the noise, calm but commanding, filled with the authority of someone who truly understood both sides. She didn't give orders, she spoke, directly and empathetically, diffusing the tension with her words. Slowly, the crowd began to quiet, listening as she acknowledged their pain and frustration while urging for calm and mutual respect. Daniels watched in silence, stunned by her ability to turn chaos into understanding. For the first time, he saw her not as someone to dismiss, but as a leader, someone who had earned her position through strength and wisdom. As the situation de-escalated, he felt a pang of regret for the way he had treated her before, but something deeper gnawed at him. Later, as Daniels approached Maya to apologize, she revealed something unexpected. The department's reforms, one she had been quietly pushing for months, had led to the restructuring of leadership roles. Daniels, despite his flaws, had been chosen to serve directly under her. The twist wasn't just in their new working dynamic, but in the realization that Maya had intentionally built bridges, even with those who had wronged her. Her leadership wasn't about power, it was about change. And for Daniels, it was a second chance he never saw coming. In the weeks that followed, the department began to feel different. Maya's leadership brought new energy and purpose, inspiring officers to rethink their approach to serving the community. Her reforms didn't come easily. There were challenges and resistance, but her persistence was unwavering. She worked side by side with her team, showing them what it meant to lead with respect and understanding. For Daniels, working under Maya was an eye-opening experience. He started to see the flaws in his past behavior, not through lectures, but through her example. Over time, he began to earn back the trust of his colleagues and the community, learning lessons he never expected. Maya's journey was proof that dignity and determination could create change, even in the most unlikely circumstances. And as she walked through the city she now served as chief, she knew her story was far from over. It was only the beginning of something bigger.